Okay. I'm sorry, this might stall out for a second here when I'm beginning this stream. OBS makes me enter in the new stream key every time I go from Twitch to YouTube. How are you guys doing today? We got some fun stuff to go over. We hit on this a little bit last week, but today we're going to go a little bit more in depth with it. We're going to look at actual pricing, what you get with this new Fender ToneMaster Pro, as well as what the competition is offering and how one competitor immediately responded to it in an interesting timing slash explanation with a price adjustment to theirs. I'm going to say hello to everybody. I thought you were going to give me the boot for being a Debbie Downer so early on. Debbie Downer, what do you say? Let's see what Sean said to start this stream out. Ooh. Yeah, I can understand that. I'll just read the comment. I don't want to start this stream off with negativity. This is probably an awesome product, but the Fender GTX 100 is the exact same product, except you don't need to buy a separate FR cab. The ToneMaster is $17, the cab is $550, or the GTX is $500 total. I think it's a little bit different. I think it'll be a little bit different than the GTX 100, but we'll have to wait and see about that. And I don't know all the specs of that off the top of my head, so I can't do that. Yeah, no, I finally bought lights for the room. We're not going to harp on this too much. I got another one. These things are freaking huge. They're awesome. It's actually going to look like I do YouTube for real now. I adjusted settings on the camera. Spent a whole day because I've been sick as a dog. I was the only one that was resilient, and eventually it caught up with me. I feel okay today, so we'll see how it goes. Greetings. Are there any vocal harmonies on it? I'm not seeing them. And as of right now, I'll tell you who I watched. I watched my friends at Alamo Music. I will say this. If you really want one of those things, after this stream, or just in general, regardless, go to Alamo Music and talk to Cooper or Chris and buy from them. They are a good store. I watched their full demonstration of the unit from unboxing and trying to get a feel for it. It was just Chris today, not Cooper, but I like that store a lot because even when they were doing it, he was excited about it. Chris was by himself, but I mean, he didn't hold back. Maybe it was unintentional, but he said a few things that were pretty damning to me as far as the thing goes, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, as of right now, apparently there is no bass guitar support in it, but there's a firmware update that is required, and they have one of the pre-launch firmwares on it already. So I'm not going to judge anything on that. Not yet. Same thing with IRs. However, it's looking at Quadic. Yeah, I picked blue. All right, let's go right to the the browser here because we got a lot to look at. So, all right, you can move over so you can fill the screen. Good job. So this thing comes in at $1,700, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the few things that stuck out to me, well, first of all, you get the same thing that you're going to get in every other one of these devices, whether it's a Quad Cortex, whether it's a Line 6, whether it's a Head Rush. You get a bunch of model amplifiers. Their kind of sales pitch here is you get the same ToneMaster amp models that are in their popular ToneMaster amps themselves, which is pretty cool. In the demonstration, all I saw was them using Fender amps, so I'll be very interested to see how the other brands' amplifiers or emulations of amplifiers end up coming out here. So nothing really out of the ordinary with this part of it. Same thing with effects. We don't need to go into that. One thing that I did think was a kind of a cool touch here. We'll go back to that in a second. But one thing I thought was a kind of a cool touch here, when you do look at the screen, whenever you have something selected on the screen itself, whether it is the amplifier or one of the effects pedals, when you move one of the rotary switches, it actually moves on board with it like it's the real thing. So it kind of looks like you're adjusting the front panel of an amp, or same thing with the pedal or the knobs on a pedal itself. So I thought that was a cool thing. That in terms of practicality, that doesn't really do anything, but I thought it was at least something different, and the screen is a touch screen, which is pretty cool. Now they also have this thing where they talk about song list and song and set list modes. This is not really that different or innovative at all. It's just a new way of calling certain features that have already existed in both Line 6's family of products and even in the Quad Cortex. You can do the same kinds of things. Basically, let you switch from song to song, or have something set up so that you can switch to a different patch within a song. That's all stuff you can already do in Helix and Quad Cortex. When we get to the I/O, you have two inputs. There's one thing that's different about this compared to the Quad Cortex, which we're going to talk a little bit more about the Quad Cortex as the stream goes along. So on this device here, you have one XLR input that could also be used to power in an instrument cable. And then you have one straight up instrument cable. So you could either have a vocal going in and then your guitar going in, whether it's an acoustic or an electric guitar, and you could be all set to go. So that is pretty cool that they offer that. On the Quad Cortex, they're both XLR combo jacks, which I think is a better touch to it because it gives you a little bit more versatility with the device. Outside of that, guys, I mean, there's nothing about this that screams, I have to have this, to me at least. And when you're entering this market at this price and you're the new kid on the block, because you could say whatever you want about Fender guitars. Fender guitars have been around forever. But when you're going into like this tier, $1,700 in the modeling section, you're the new kid on the block. Fender, I can't ever remember them being this high up as far as trying to compete with the big boys. You got to offer something, or it's got to sound so damn good. I'm going to reserve my judgment for sounds because obviously people out of the box that aren't like super pros at this, they're not going to be able to get the best sounds. But I don't know. You didn't have this powered cabinet. There's two options for this. There's a 1x12 and a 1x10. It's just it's a flat rate cab. That's all it is. It's a powered cabinet. So you could use this with any number of modelers. If you just like the look of this, this is something that is pretty cool. Like if you had an HX Stomp and you wanted something on the stage that looked more like an amp, because a lot of the other FR speakers out there, they don't look all that cool. Quite frankly, they don't. This one does look like a guitar amplifier. So I suppose that's pretty cool. Actually, I think I'm more attracted to this than I am the actual unit itself. But yeah, you combine the two of them together, you have $1,700 plus $549.99. You do the math on that. To have a full out playing rig, $2,250. So there's that. Now, before we go into any competition, I'm going to check out some comments because I have a lot of things already pulled up here with other gear, and then we'll go into that. So, starting off with what we just saw. Have any of you guys watched demos on this thing yet? I assume multiple channels, especially stores, have demoed this thing. What do you think? And what do you think of the price? I already know what Sean thinks of the price. So let me check up what's going on here. I am sure that they're different. Yeah, they probably are. You're more than happy with your Vox AC15. You should have told Rafa that same thing. He wouldn't have found himself in the predicament he's in. He traded in his AC30 for one of those Line 6 Catalyst amps, and he deeply regrets that decision. I don't mean to poke fun of him, but I mean he made a video about it where he basically says, he's like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'll link to that later on in the video once we go over the rest of them in case you guys want to watch that. That was pretty good. Okay, happy Fender drop day. Yeah, right. Fender drop day. Or did Fender just apple us? Not sure about that. The cabinet is my favorite part of the release. See? You know what? That's what you should have led with. Lead with the cabinet. I think that looks great. And especially for people that do use digital stuff, the look of it really is important. As a matter of fact, let's compare some of those. Because I know Line 6 had one too, but it still says Line 6 on it. And a lot of people still associate Line 6 amps with not so great sounds as we just talked about here. Headrush FR. Let's see if anything pops up here. Okay. You're going to try and tell me that this looks as cool as a Fender amp? I'm telling you, that's the winner of the day. That's the product I want. It's the Fender cabinet. And I can hook up the Line 6 to it. Yeah, so if any of my buddies in the corporate world want to send me the cabinet, I'll happily demo the cabinet. I kid. And from a practical standpoint, it does make sense why I do this. If you look at the bottom, it's got a mount that you could put on like a PA speaker, typically something like that. I mean, it makes sense, but just aesthetically, something like this compared to, go back, compared to that, bro, that looks like an amp. That looks great. That thing looks awesome. That's how I would do it. We have top controls in this. Yeah, we even have some global EQ settings. Now, whether or not those would work well with other parties' digital offerings, that remains to be seen. But even if they didn't, I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead here. Keep this in mind. This is our baseline price, $16.99. $16.99 also gets you the Line 6, the big Line 6. But Jim, the Line 6 has been around for a long time. Let me tell you something about this Line 6. It has been around a long time. You want to know how it's been able to survive a long time? Because they actually built a piece of kit that was made to last, for starters. The second thing, the people who actually do the firmware, the software, and all that fun stuff involved with something intricate like this, they have stood behind this from day one all the way till now, and I don't see that stopping into the future. There are still updates. There was just another update for the Helix software. This thing is incredible. You also get your foot switch here, you get an expression pedal on this one that you don't get on the other one. You don't have a touch screen that is as pretty, okay? If we're gonna just call a spade here, that's one thing you're not getting with this. But I believe you still get the same amount of knobs. You know what? Let's not even assume. We got both pulled up here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 total on that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we have less on the Fender. So you have less and you don't have the expression pedal. And this also has an out for a second expression pedal as well. You know what you're getting with this because it's been out for so long. We go to the inputs and we're going to have the same kind of thing in here. We have the one dedicated microphone input. You do have one dedicated guitar input. So that's exactly the same as what the Fender is offering. You have, where are my effects loops? Yeah, you have 4 effects loops. Same thing as Fender is offering. Two XLR outputs, send to front of house or however you want to do it. Same thing there. Headphone jack, yep. MIDI, yep. This even has a SPDIF. Does this have SPDIF? It doesn't even have a picture of the full back. No SPDIF on this. So, my problem here isn't necessarily even that I feel like the Fender might not be pretty good sounding, and a lot of people might be attracted to the different style of being able to look at the screen, because this is, I'm not going to lie to you, as somebody who likes analog amps, I don't like this layout. I genuinely don't, but you get used to it, you work around it. If that's your biggest point of differentiation, I think you're in trouble. Because the price being the same on this, you actually get a backpack with this too now. I mean, it's an older product, but still. You get more expression pedals, 2 more switches. You have proven support and all that fun stuff. And you know it's built to last because people have used these for years. And you're the same price as that. Let's move on. You want to step it down a little bit here. This is the little brother. This also comes with an expression pedal, although it doesn't feel as good as the one that we just looked at on the big Helix. This is $500 less. You get all the same sounds that the big Helix is going to give you. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we have this. Actually, we still have more rotary encoders on this, or foot switches on this, than we do on the Fender. If we go to the back of the unit, you're only getting a guitar input. So you're not going to get the ability to run at the same time a guitar and a microphone or other device. So you're only getting that. So this one is a little bit more limited, but it's $500 less, and then you get all the other pros that we did mention about the big Helix. Finally, if you don't give a damn about the guitar input or the microphone input at all, you can get one of these or an HX Stomp for almost $1,000 less. You're only going to get one effects loop. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. One effects loop. What are you going to do with your life? How are you going to live? Still get your headphone out, and it still has all the same software. Okay? So this is, we're just covering the Line 6 at this point and comparing them to the Line 6. I don't know, man. I don't know. And this has 8 buttons on it. So let me click out of this, and then we'll go right into the thing that I found to be very, very amusing, which is the Neural thing. Because I'm going to show you 2 things about Neural, not just the price of the Neural. Let me catch up on some of these comments. The cabinet is cool. I agree, Deb. I think the cabinet's the coolest part. I would have led with the cabinet. I really would have. Looks great. And that's so smart because all of the FRFR speakers that I've seen, they are a turnoff to me aesthetically. And it's a stupid thing because functionality-wise, the head rushes sound fine. But they don't look right. Fender nailing the look of that cabinet, that's good stuff. So I'm being very, very positive about that. Good job. I like it. Grab one of those. Maybe I'll get a deal. Maybe I get one for $400. Oh man, I hate to say it, but I will pod go into a GTX 100 and combine those 2 products are less than $1,200. I have the speaker, the cool looking cab, the fancy pedal, and 2 XLR outs and wireless. All I'm saying is you can't get this same setup or more for less cash, but I would absolutely rock this new Fender setup if I could afford it. I get it, man. And the thing about any piece of gear, today we're talking about modelers. You guys know that follow this channel, unless you're somebody who just clicked on this, you're interested in a ToneMaster Pro. In that case, welcome. Appreciate you being here for a minute. I'm not always the biggest fan of those. I kind of have a hybrid setup right now with the HX Stomp, but my main sounds 99% of the time come from tube amps. That's just me. Maybe they overpriced the cab like they did guitars, and they will have to mark them down during the holidays. There you go. Rex, you'll be sending me emails about 10 and 20% off at FenderDirect.com. Maybe I'll look at that point. We'll see. Less is more with proper sound. I agree with you. And it's also less menus to dive into. That's why I love the Tone King Gremlin so much. I haven't shut up about this amp since I got it, and I realized I just made another video about it. You turn the thing on, you have one volume, you have one tone knob, and it sounds great. The end. Just start playing guitar. It's always the appeal of tube amps to me. When I was jamming with some dudes, I was told to turn off my reverb effect. I was shocked. It sounded better. I was humbled. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so guys, now we're going to go to Neural DSP real quick. Now, Neural, in their infinite wisdom, 2 things about them. They had an email press release the other day. I posted the transcript of it in the Discord. I got a good laugh out of it. So they're announcing a new plugin. We're going to start here first because I thought it's something worth noting. And they're very proud of it. And the reason why is because it's going to be the first plugin that's compatible with the Quad Cortex, which is their multi-effects processing unit, which we'll be seeing on screen momentarily. In the Q&As of it, can I use this right now with my Quad Cortex? The answer is not yet. So it's been almost 3 years. if not more. I don't. I've lost track of the time, honestly, with that. And you still can't use plugins. They announce a plugin that is going to be compatible with it, and upon launch of said plugin, it still won't work. I found that very amusing. However, I did get another email today. Let's have a look at that. Oh, that's the wrong button. As of October 2nd, the MSRP for Quad Cortex has been decreased. The supply chain disruptions experienced globally throughout and beyond, I'm not reading that word, translated into extremely long lead times for critical electronic components. This resulted in us having to buy parts from resellers at outrageous prices and forced us to buy enough stock for at least a year to ensure adequate delivery times for our vendors, which translated into a price increase of 2021. Keep that in mind. We are pleased to say that the supply chain is finally normalized and we have worked through most of our inventory. Since now we can produce Quad Cortex at a lower cost, we'd like to pass those savings on to you. Effective October 2nd, even though I got this email 3 hours ago, as you can see, the global MSRP is now $16.99. So I can't help, if I was Neural, why wouldn't you just decrease the price and save this? Because let's call a spade here, ladies and gentlemen. You did this on the day, you sent this out on the day that the Fender came out at $16.99. You're going to tell me it's a complete coincidence of the timing? You're really going to try and tell me that? And I like Neural DSP. I do. But come on, give me a break. Quad Cortex. Now at $16.99, as we just learned from our email, and also includes a hard shell case. What do you get with this that you don't get with the Fender? First of all, we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We get the same amount of knobs. Actually, we get one extra bonus knob up here. You also have a touch screen on this. You have a capture capability on this that you do not have on the Fender for capturing distortion pedals, overdrive pedals, or your amplifier. The quality of the effects on this, I will say, when I had this, they were superb. They were absolutely superb. I like them a lot. We look at the back here. This is what I was alluding to earlier with the Fender. You have the combo jacks on the Neural. So on both of the inputs, they can be XLR or an instrument cable into them. And I'm sorry if you hear my dog whining. He hears something outside, and that's just what he does. On this one, you get either. You get two effects loops, because honestly, once we get to more than two effects loops, we're getting real crazy pills. You got your mains, you still got MIDI, you got two expression pedals on it. This thing, to me, is a company that specializes in all of this. Neural DSP do not make guitars. Neural DSP do not make tube amplifiers. Neural DSP do not do any of the things that Fender or other companies are known for. They stick to plugins and this. And they have gotten damn good at it. So for me, why would I go against a company like this at the same exact price when this is their bread and butter? And this is taking the Helix out of the equation for a second. All right? If my choices are just between the Quad Cortex and the new Fender, I have a very hard time. And this thing was built extremely well. I will give it that too. I don't know. I'm failing to see where Fender beats this. I really am. There's one thing I will say in the Fender's favor, though. Potentially. Let's go back to this for a second. So, again, $15.99. I don't know how this is going to launch as far as a desktop editor goes, because the Neural DSP still does not have a functioning full-on version that is available for the public. I believe a beta is about to start or has started, but it's still not included with that. The Helix has had it forever. It's amazing. And I'd be interested to see about that. That's it, though. That's all I can think of in it. And before we get going, I have something. This month we have a Telecaster. Check out this cool mug design. That's the black double-bound Telecaster. That's my custom shop. with some cool, yeah. So click on, if there's a link in the video, which if there's not, I'm a fool. You can buy yourself a nice mug or a t-shirt. I think you could even get a hat. No, you can get a onesie. Same with shelf promotion involved. I didn't want to make a full video about all this. But yeah, we still got the Jazzmaster stuff up for a few days. And the telly is now in the pins. So if you buy a set of pins, you'll get a telly pin. Shameless self-promotion aside, at least I don't mention it every video, you guys. At least I don't do it every video. But my wife did that, and I wanted to share that with you all. All right. Load this up. Now I can see your chat. So, am I nuts here for thinking I think it's a little too much? I don't know. Let's start a poll. Money Man, how are you, Money Man? Here's your poll. Are you excited for the ToneMaster Pro? Okay, I'm going to give you a yes. Yes in capital letters. No in capital letters. Too expensive. Unsure. All right, you got 4 options. I give you more options, but it don't let me do that. We'll try something real quick here. It's gonna go quiet. 1 sec. Okay. Yeah. Nice. That's like my mute button. Although I don't have a mute button. I sound like Echo the Dolphin when I drink out of that thing. Okay. Hey, Jim, is it the tones or the menu diving that turns you off from modelers versus tube amps? It's all of it. It's honestly all of it. I don't come at it from a perspective of I hate modelers. I don't. They're really useful. They are. And to deny that, and to deny that they've gotten a lot better, I think it's foolish. Look at my dashboard here on my Mac. I got the Soldano plugin. I got the Tone King plugin. And I got the, what else? The Corey Wong plugin from Neuro DSP. If I'm honest with you, the Tone King one doesn't even sound the same to me at all as the Tone King amp. Not even just this one as an Imperial. It just doesn't give you the same feel. But it's really convenient because what I do with the Tone King plugin is I disable the amplifier. And when I use the line out from the Gremlin, I run through the amp simulation, the IRs that are built into that, and I can move the microphones on the screen and have fun with that. But yeah, I don't like the lack of feel at all. And no modeler has ever given me the same experience as a tube amp has. Plus, it just doesn't sound as... It doesn't sound... You know what? I was going to say it doesn't sound as good. I'm not even going to say that because that's subjective. Your opinion might differ from mine, right? The way I look at it is it's not a sound that I have played my entire life, so adjusting to it, I hear the difference immediately. Like, I heard the Fender demo. That sounded very digital. Granted, the guy was using presets. I mean, but that was a very digital thing. And I want to give a special shout out real quick to Chris at Alamo Music. That's where I watched the demo today for this new Fender ToneMaster Pro. Unlike a lot of other people, well, not like a lot of other people, unlike some people, that's a better way of wording this. Some people that, you know that they're running for a shop. You know the video is going on to a major shop's YouTube channel. This guy still comes out and in the middle of it blatantly says, yeah, I feel like this may have been a little bit rushed to make sure it got out for Christmas. And I was like, oh my God, he said something honest. Like, wow. I was like blown away by that. Not really, because I like the guys at Alamo. But you don't always hear that with channels. It's always, this is the best or something I truly hated. Now it's my favorite thing ever. I can't believe that. Can you? So adding that little bit of human touch, I do appreciate that. I really do. Let me catch up on some comments. I just saw the one about the my thoughts on modelers. So I thought I'd answer that. Only $12? Yeah, $12. Do I have a link in the description of this video? I'll tell you, I will be the worst salesman in the whole world. I don't have a link to it. Oh, I suck at this. Hold on. I just linked some stuff to buy. Buy things. There you go. All right, I put it in there. I'm going to edit this real quick. Audiomo Store. There we go. And now we can quit that altogether. Save. All right, cool. Yeah, today there is a decent delay in the stream. There's something up with the settings I need to adjust. Okay. You need to get one of these for your old man. That's cool. I got you with the Jazzmaster mug. I can't keep up with these streams lately. I'm supposed to go outside and clean out a gutter. Well, the reason, like I said, I really have been sick. I'm powering through right now. I cleaned out my sinuses and all that fun stuff so I could make it for half hour, 45 minutes, and an hour on this. But talking in front of the actual camera to try and film, it's been really rough, and I haven't felt great. So I figured if I could do this, I could do this, and it would be fun to do it. So I'm too old. This is beyond me. But for $1,000, you can get everything you need. 1 amp, 1 guitar. That's what you need. Well, I'm just like you, baby. Just like you, Alan. I acknowledge a lot of this stuff. I play with a lot of this stuff. I do see the value in a lot of these modelers. But they'll never be my primary way of getting sounds. It just won't. It is what it is. To each their own. Can you be angry one more time? Yeah, knock yourself out. What do I care? Has that been off the whole time? If that's been off the whole time and you've just been staring at a t-shirt, I truly do apologize for that. I was just telling you how sick I am. I'm in a cloud. I'm in a cloud. I apologize. All right. The existence of the ToneMaster Pro will mean they'll probably pull away any further support for the GTX 100, which means I won't get any more updates in the future, which is kind of lame. Yep. That's very likely. But that won't be the first time they've abandoned digital products. Come on. And that's another reason I like Line 6 so much. Because that is their bread and butter, and they don't have all these other products to sell you compared to FMIC Servco, private equity. Like, you just focus on that one thing and you keep supporting the hell out of it. And that's why the HX Stomp, I think I'm going to make a video of this. I think it's the most influential piece of gear of the last decade. I think it's the best piece of gear overall of the last decade. The Helix and the HX Stomp. It is unbelievable how that has stood the test of time, how they keep making it better. And it's an example of a company not only standing behind their product, but letting people who did invest in their hard-earned money be rewarded by giving them new things on a regular basis and improving it. If every company worked in that manner, we would be so much further ahead innovation-wise. I love that. I love that. Got all sentimental about HX Stomp as I was just saying how much I love the tube amps. But it's true. I just respect companies that do that stuff right. Don't fall behind on cleaning your gutters. I'm sitting in my basement vacuuming up water right now. That could suck. We had a flooded basement once. We were in New York. That sucked. And that was not disclosed to us. That's a whole nother can of worms. We're not touching that one today. I just put new gutters on my house. There you go. Okay, guys. Let me check on... Oh, Paulie's Guitars and Gears. Saying that, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing that they released a newer Helix HX Stomp soon. They're more likely to than Kemper's, perhaps. You know, Paulie, I'll be honest. I thought that they were going to do that for the last, 2 or 3 years. I've been waiting for them to do that, and they just aren't doing it. They just, instead of cash grabbing another HX Stomp or Helix, they just keep making the ones they have better. I don't understand it. From a business perspective, I'm almost like, you know what? Why wouldn't you introduce a new one? It makes sense. You'll get return customers. At this point, you have well exceeded the expectations of people who bought this on launch and shortly thereafter. And yeah, why not? But they're not doing it. So with line 6, I'm only going to say this about line 6, but I don't expect them to do it. I know it's inevitable at some point, but I can't look at it like that. I just can't, not with that company. They've proven me wrong. You just bought the well, that's why you feel like that. I felt like that when I bought my HX Stomp for the second time. I was just like, you know what? This is it. I'm going to buy this, and then it's going to be on a clearance sale for $300. The new one's going to come out, and I'm going to be really upset. You can't be, though. That's the problem. That's the risk you take with digital stuff in general. Had to sell my beautiful Rapier 33 back today. The jack plug disangered Andertons are good for customer service. Well, that's good. They actually took care of you. Happy to hear that, Alan. You want to try a matchless amp? Oh, you're playing through a Harley Benton digital rig and you want to try a matchless amp? I really hope that your investment strategy is good, Mr. Burrow. Because you're going to pay a lot of money for a good matchless amp. But in my opinion, they are worth every freaking dollar. They're great. Big fan. Big fan. Blow your socks off. At this point, I have reached relative homeostasis with my rig and gear. It's a good feeling. I'm sure it's mostly temporary, but I'm happy with what I have. More money, I think, in selling the current model and keep improving to sell to more and more people. That might be true, but it also shows that when they designed this to begin with all those years ago, they built it to last. They built it because think of your phone, for example, or your MacBook, or whatever thing that you go through on a daily basis. Those have shelf lives. Yeah, they come out with all these great features, and this is improved, and that's improved. They're not made to last because they need you to keep buying the new one when the new one releases. Okay? Seeing a company go completely against that and instead just update what they already released is so refreshing to me. It's just out of the norm. It's the exception to the rule of modern products where software and digital processors are involved. So I give them so much kudos for doing it. I think you're probably right. It's a decent bit of gear and will always serve as a decent little standalone regardless of what else comes along. Yeah, it's great. The HX Stomp, even if they released a new one today, who cares? You still have something great. And it can still be used for so many things. It's one flexible piece. Even if you just wanted to use it in your effects loop of your amplifier, just for some delay, reverb, or some weird effect, like they have all these crazy ones. If you just have one of those set up, you're still fine. That's cool. Big fan. The Matchless Chief, or whatever it's modeled, digital is awesome. So you want to hear the real thing? You're going to walk out with a much lighter wallet. But it is amazing. I love the Matchless stuff. I agree. Look at cell phones. Exactly. So it's all the more reason I have that appreciation I do for Line 6. That they're not following that business model that so many things do. Cell phones, TVs, computers. How many other weeks is it, I feel like nowadays, because this MacBook is on its way out. So it just randomly dies for 2 days. I have to reset the thing all the way. And that's the end of that. This isn't even 3 years old. I'm going to have to go and buy a new one. I'm going to need it to be working perfectly before I do so. Because I can then go to the Apple Store and be like, look, it works fine. I promise. See? It loads. Now, trade in. Give me a new one. Okay. Yeah, I saw Mudrick scored a goal. Hell has frozen over. That's why it's blue in here. Come on, you Blues. Sorry, Ian. They've had a rough year. Let Allen have this one, okay? And it was Fulham. All right, guys, let me check the poll. Are you excited for the ToneMaster Pro? 19% of you said yes. 29% said no. 33% said too expensive, and 19% are unsure. This is one that has been spread out pretty significantly. That's not always the case. Cool. You got an email, Paulie, from Neural. Oh, yeah. We went over that. I actually read the email out loud. I think I just... Why not just lower the price then? The thing about it is that there's two ways you could have gone about this. If you were really going to pass the savings along to the customer, and that was your honest reason for doing it, not the fact that you have direct competitor that's coming out at that price today. You sent that email out today saying the price is now $16.99 from $18.50. If the supply chain suddenly cured, why wouldn't you have done it earlier? Because you knew this was coming out anyways. I just think it's a bad look to lower it on the release day of another product, to lower it exactly to that price. I don't know. That's just me. I thought it was strange, and I don't think anything is done unintentionally. And I like the guys at Neural DSP. I do. I just think that could have been handled a little bit better. Could have done that last month. Could have done that in September. You know? But it's a way of also smart, because then it's just like, oh, well, Neural just lowered their price on the same day, so it gets people talking about Neural at the same time. So from a marketing standpoint, I get it, but I don't love the way they did it. PC is the way to go. Not when you work in audio. No, it is not, my friend. If I was just doing live streams, maybe, for sure. If I was just doing live streams and video editing, yeah. But for Pro Tools and for all the stuff I do with audio, you couldn't pay me to use PC. I hate it. And I don't like Apple as a company. We're not going to get into that. But Mac OS is infinitely better for running all digital audio stuff than Windows is. It's not even close. I've tried it several times. But no, not going to do it. All right, guys. I feel like I'm actually kind of happy that there's more people excited about this in general than I had anticipated. And again, like I said, I'm going to plug that shop one more time. I get nothing from them. I just like them. And that is Alamo Music. If you are interested in buying one of these ToneMaster Pros, I would go to alamomusic.com or call them up directly. Support that store. They're a good small business. Even though they have a large YouTube channel, doesn't mean that there's some conglomerate. You know what I mean? Or if you don't want to buy it from Alamo Music, buy it from Sweetwater and use my affiliate link. That's how you know I suck at being a salesman. I have an affiliate link. I haven't mentioned it until now. I haven't told you to use it. I'm sitting here like an idiot telling you to buy it from Alamo Music where I won't get a penny. And this, my friend, is why every nice thing I have has been bought for by myself. I'm going to finish reading on these comments and we're going to get out of here. At least the pedal game is not a monopoly. Golden age of tonal options. I agree with you 100%. More options, the better. More competition, the better. I just don't understand the pricing of this thing given the competition that it was entering. I feel like they really missed the mark with this one. Yeah, Neural has some slightly sketchy, just be honest and market. Say something, we're the best and we're taking it to Fender. Or, just deliver what you promised from day one, like 3 years later. That would be a really good start too. And that might feel like a cheap shot, but it baffles me that to this day, something that was promised on day one, you still can't do it with that device, and that's use your plugins. Wild. Although I would still, gun to my head, you're making me buy one of these things new. I'm still buying the Neural over the Fender. Because I know that hardware itself is incredibly tough. And I know the sounds of that are really good. I liked it a lot. You agree? There you go. Windows is like having a small child rearrange all your constantly and it's messing around with your setting. Nope. I'm not doing it. I hate Windows. There, you got a dolphin noise to get going. That one was for the road. I'm actually going to go jump back into the shower. Not because I'm dirty, but because I need to clean out my nose. I feel like crap. Maybe there will be a video tomorrow. If there is not, and that's the other reason we haven't been streaming, because I don't want to go through a live stream of playing guitar and feeling like crap and not being up to it, because it really comes across. I know it does because I can tell when somebody's just powering through something. I'd rather the person be rested and more into it. So even though I had all these big plans, I just get put off a few days. That's life. Hopefully everybody in the house gets a little bit better and they'll stop passing the virus back to me, whatever the hell it is. But I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys for participating. Go buy a t-shirt at my store, or a mug, or a portrait. I think I sell all three of those, or a onesie. And then put it on your dog. It'll piss them off. I love you guys. Worst case scenario, I see you on Thursday for a regular live stream. Take care, guys.